gremlins! Welcome to another aesthetic art video. The 18th aesthetic I'll cover is... Regency! Regency is a time period in English history, from 1811 to 1820, when Prince George was too young to be king and therefore England was ruled by a regent. The aesthetic Regency is based around the fashion and visuals from that time period, usually inspired by the works of the author Jane Austen and subsequent adaptations, as well as other media set in the Regency period. The aesthetic is known as simply Regency on the Aesthetic Wiki, which as always is my main source. However, the same visuals are also known by the name Regencycore, which I will be using to differentiate between the aesthetic and the time period. Before I start explaining what Regencycore is, I'd like to mention that I've started creating Pinterest boards for each aesthetic I cover. I've recently created boards for the 17 previous aesthetics on my channel, and will be adding a new board for each aesthetic in the future. My Pinterest is linked in the description if you are interested in seeing more visuals and references for the aesthetics I talk about. Jane Austen's work is the primary inspiration for the modern Regencycore aesthetic. Her romance novels surrounded the lives of the noble class in England during the early 1800s, the same demographic that inspires the modern interpretations of the aesthetic. Regencycore has seen recent popularity due to several notable media releases set in the Regency period since 2020, including an adaptation of Emma by Jane Austen and the show Bridgerton. The COVID-19 pandemic may have also had an influence on the aesthetic's desirability. Regencycore is an escapist aesthetic. Less practical for daily life, but perfect for imagining a romantic life during a period of isolation and quarantine. Regencycore isn't about historical accuracy, but the vibes of the Regency, especially using visuals from modern adaptations. All fashion and aesthetics are inspired and altered from what came before. The Regency period itself was inspired by previous fashions and historical visuals, such as the statues and temples of ancient Greece and Rome. Comparing statues of Greek women to images of Regency gowns, you can see the inspiration. Regencycore visuals center around objects and activities that were common for the upper class during the Regency period. Those visuals include balls and dancing, teacups, feathers, flowers and gardens, carriages, handwritten letters, and pianos, then called pianofortes. Colors tend to be pastel and gold, although bold colors were also present during the time period. Period architecture and furniture feature as well, often highly detailed, carved and gilded. Regency fashion is usually impractical and elegant, good for events or occasional wear, but less practical for modern daily wear. Feminine outfits surround the Regency silhouette, with an empire waist, or a waistline right under the bust, and long, slim skirts. Evening wear would have low necklines, short puffed sleeves, long gloves, and lots of jewelry and headwear. Daytime wear has higher necklines and long sleeves, as well as more practical and less gauzy fabric. Most Regencycore fashions surround evening wear. Colors are usually pastel and fabrics light. Fans and parasols are common accessories, as well as pearls, ribbons, and period headpieces. While the Aesthetic Wiki doesn't include any clothing items that are practical for daily wear, it is possible to take inspiration from the Regency period for modern clothing. I used several online beauty and fashion websites to find inspiration for Regencycore outfits, most of which were published during the 2020 to 2022 Regency boom. The easiest way to bring some Regencycore to modern outfits is with accessories. Wearing pearls and dainty gold jewelry with a modern outfit is a simple way to bring some whimsy to daily life. Another way to add some Regency to daily life is to take inspiration from the silhouette. Wearing an empire-waisted shirt with modern pants and ballet flats, or a modern corset with jeans, are more obviously Regency-inspired. While a lot of Regencycore fashion revolves around feminine looks, with its inspiration coming from women-centered books and adaptations, there are also masculine Regencycore fashions. Elements of clothing include top hats, cravats, high-coloured linen shirts, waistcoats, frock coats, riding boots, and tight pants. Once again, if you want to wear this style in more practical modern ways, mixing modern clothing with a few elements of Regency works well. Wearing a fancy waistcoat with a modern shirt and pants, or adding a top hat and coat over a modern outfit, are just a few options. Regencycore activities are similar to activities the nobility of the time would have partaken in. They include taking walks in the garden, going to balls, painting, writing letters by hand, reading, especially reading books set in the Regency period or earlier, drinking tea, and playing the piano. If you are looking for more Regencycore inspiration, I would suggest either reading Jane Austen's novels or watching some of the adaptations. I personally enjoy the 6-hour BBC series adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. I debated with myself on whether to make this Regencycore character wear a more modern interpretation of Regency fashion or dress her directly in Regency dress. I decided that drawing a full Regency evening gown would be more fun. Disclaimer, this outfit is not historically accurate, especially with hair in a ponytail rather than all pinned up. I don't know if the shade of purple for the gown was available as a dye color in the 1800s. If you want to learn more about historically accurate Regency fashion, there are some great fashion historians on YouTube whose content I enjoy, including Karolina Zabrowska and Abby Cox. I've linked some of their relevant videos in the description. I'm drawing inspiration for this character's outfit from Jane Austen adaptations. I gave her a long Regency-style empire-waisted evening gown in a pale purple colour, elbow-length cream silk gloves, and a headpiece of feathers and flowers. She has 2 strings of pearls around her neck, as well as pearls in her headpiece and on her pink dancing slippers. I gave her a fan as a handheld accessory. For the background of this image, I placed my Regencycore character inside a Regency-era home. I toned down the amount of gilding that would have been present, just so the backgrounds wouldn't take as long. There's a staircase with a fancy white banister, wooden floors, and a plush seat. I also created 2 simplified portraits on the stairwell wall. I had a lot of fun with this design, and the whole process went really smoothly. I was worried about drawing the folds of the dress, but I think I did okay, using my simplified style. Regencycore isn't an aesthetic I'm drawn to for myself, but I think it's a cool aesthetic and can have some really beautiful and elegant imagery. If you are interested in this aesthetic, I've linked a Regencycore Pinterest board that I made, as well as the aesthetic wiki, both of which are good jumping off points for learning more. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye!